A big focus after 6 people from Indonesia who attended a congregation at a mosque in Delhi's Nizamuddin area died in Telangana after testing positive for COVID-19. A cleric in the same event had died in Srinagar last week. 9 attendees and the wife of one of them have now tested positive in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. More than 2,000 delegates, including from Malaysia, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia and Kyrgyzstan, had attended that congregation in mid-March of the Tabligh-e-Jamaat, the Muslim religious organization. In a huge health risk, 1,400 people continued to stay in the building associated with this organization, even as a 21-day nationwide lockdown was imposed on the 24th of March. Over 850 people who were part of the congregation have now been taken to different hospitals to be tested for coronavirus and kept in isolation, but about 300 people are still there in the building. Authorities have appealed to all those who participated in the congregation to contact officials. The Delhi police and CRPF officials and medical teams went to the South Delhi locality late on Sunday night. If we can get those shots on our screens up as well. And in fact, many of them were taken in buses to various hospitals to be kept now in isolation. Let's just actually take you through the complete timeline of events as we know them now. Well, in mid-March, 2,000 delegates, as we said, attended that mosque gathering. The mosque gathering, in fact, took place despite a lot of COVID-19 concerns already being flagged at that point. Now, international delegates were, of course, as we said, at the mosque event from a variety of countries, including Indonesia and Malaysia. 10 people in Telangana attending the event have now tested positive. 11 had tested positive, 10 in Telangana, 1 in Jammu and Kashmir. 1 died last week in Jammu and Kashmir, and now 6 are dead in Telangana. Over 300 people now being tested in hospitals. Contact tracing continues with authorities asking people to come forward. Now, the organizers for their part are saying that the event was held before any kind of formal lockdown. Well, Uma Sudhir joining us this morning with the latest on that massive story. Uma, this of course has implications well beyond just Telangana, where now there have been 6 deaths because people have travelled from this gathering pretty much around the country at this point, and contact tracing is going to prove to be perhaps a nightmare. But what's the latest that you're getting?
Ankita, as you mentioned, the ramifications are of course going to be throughout the country. What we understand from the Chief Minister's, the note put out by the Chief Minister's office is that lots of people, in fact hundreds of people, had gone even from Telangana, as from Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, many parts of the country, in fact, to attend this gathering that happened, as you mentioned, in mid-March in the Nizamuddin area at the Markaz there. And all these people subsequently returned by trains to different parts of the country. Like we knew, the first of such cases was the Sampark Kranti Express, in which 10 Indonesians had travelled. They travelled to Ramagundam and then subsequently took a private vehicle to Karimnagar, where in fact one of them turned positive, and subsequently there was a contact tracing that happened of all the different people who had met with them. The 10 Indonesians in fact had tested positive. But beyond the foreign, the people who had come from abroad, what we are talking about now is 2 deaths that happened in Gandhi Hospital, death that happened in Global Hospital, Apollo Hospital. So 6 deaths in all is what we are talking about. And what is most worrying is that all of them were people who had gone to Delhi to attend the meeting and have come back. Now, a preliminary list at least that we have, what it seems to suggest is that 194 people have been identified from 11 different districts of Telangana who had in fact gone and attended this particular meeting. And the government has in fact put out open appeals to people saying that if you have in fact travelled to Delhi, do not worry about anything. We will take care of you. We will take care of all your medical expenses and ensure that you get well, and please come and report to us. They have in fact even appealed to others to say that if you know of anyone who has in fact travelled like this, please come back to us and tell this. What is now emerging, I spoke to some senior officers who said, is that the Hazrat Nizamuddin, the Markaz there, is turning out to be one of the focal centres from where people went to different parts of the country, and now to contact trace all these different people, that is going to be a big challenge for the authorities. As you mentioned, the positive cases that were reported over the weekend, in fact, once you do their background about where they've travelled and what they did, all of it seems to link, quite a few of those positive cases seem to link back to that meeting that happened in Delhi itself. But there is a international angle to this as well. What they are talking about is that one is the meeting that happened on 13th and 15th, and another is a meeting that happened on 16th and 17th. And in that, as you mentioned, people had come from multiple locations. Yes, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, Makkah, Dubai, Malaysia, all those places. And these were preachers who had come from all these places. And they in turn had attended a Tabligh-e-Jamaat global gathering that happened at Ijtima Asia at Seri Petaling Mosque, which is Selangor in Malaysia. And that place, in fact, is also now considered a hotspot for the spread of the pandemic virus in Southeast Asia. And therefore, all these Southeast Asian countries which have reported coronavirus do believe that the origin of that could have started from that particular gathering that happened. So what was an international kind of a hotspot now also getting transferred to Delhi and then to different parts of the country, and that contact tracing is something now that the government is on the job of, and it's going to be a very, very massive task. So therefore they are asking people to voluntarily come and say whether they traveled or came in contact with any of those preachers. We have had, in fact, reports from the Nalgonda SP as well, who did say that there were people from Vietnam in mosques, in places of religious worship there. There have been areas in Hyderabad also where groups from Kyrgyzstan, etc. were found. And at that time when they were tested, in fact, they were not found positive. But now a very close watch presumably will be kept on all these different people who may have traveled and whose contacts will now have to be traced.